Hey, Joel, thanks for coming in today. I'm glad that you're here. The last time we met each other, we talked about doing the LSCMI, and that's what the plan is for today. Do you mind if I take some notes while we're talking?
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Let's begin at the beginning. Tell me
Sounds good.
about your history of being involved in the criminal justice system.
Okay. So the first time I ever had handcuffs on, I was 35 years old. I don't have any juvenile arrests or anything like that. When I was 35, I got arrested for coercion that I was not guilty of. I took it to trial and I lost, and I ended up spending 18 months in the Department of Corrections. And I got out, was on post-prison supervision after that for I think 2 years. And I had just had jerk POs UAing me all the time. I think I had 4 dirty UAs in there, and he put me in jail every single time for those. Successfully completed that. And then 6 months ago, I'm 45 now, I got arrested for assault for C felony, which I was innocent of. And they put me on probation about 30, 45 days ago, something like that. So those are the only 2 times I've been arrested. Again, like I said, no juvenile history at all.
So when you were in DOC, tell me about any trouble that you got into while you were on the inside.
I didn't get any trouble when I was in prison. I haven't been in any trouble when I was in jail. No disciplinary reports, no nothing like that. I just did my time.
And currently, you were arrested on these charges 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
That's correct.
And at the time when you were arrested, were there any additional charges that were leveled against you that you were convicted of? Any other counts?
No, I just got arrested for the assault for C felony. That was it. And that's what I was convicted of as well.
Okay. Tell me about your experience with work. What's your work history?
Well, I'm unemployed right now. I have been unemployed for about, I think, 2 years, 2.5 years, something like that. Prior to that, I worked at the Buffalo Wild Wings, and I was there for about 2 years, maybe 3 years, full time, 40 hours per week, sometimes more than 40 hours per week. But I lost that job.
Okay. So when you think about your work history, your longest job ever was
Buffalo Wild
the
Wings.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now tell me about your experience with your education.
I've got a high school diploma. Graduated in 1995. So yeah.
How were things for you growing up in school?
Not good. So high school, got in a lot of trouble. Middle school, got in a lot of trouble. Elementary school, got in a lot of trouble. In elementary school, I had a file like that thick. They're keeping records on me, and they followed me to middle school and was getting in verbal fights with the teachers and other students. Got in a couple physical fights in elementary school and middle school and high school. Police were never involved. They always handled it in school. So that record just followed me all the way through, from elementary school all the way through to high school. I think I got suspended from school when I was in high school 4 times, 2 in-school suspensions and 2 out-of-school suspensions.
All right. So your behaviors never rose to the level of having authorities come in to arrest you or to intervene somehow, but it did rise to the level of you having lots of interventions, like suspensions in and out, and you had counselors assigned to you over the course of, sounds like, the entire time you're in school.
Yeah, I had a counselor assigned specifically to me, I think starting in 2nd grade or 3rd grade, something like that. And then middle school, same thing. I always had a counselor assigned to me. In high school, same thing again.
So let's shift to your family. Tell me about your marital situation.
Well, I'm on probation because of her. She made up a bunch of stuff the night that I got arrested. She got arrested later. It's just terrible. She's a terrible person. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. So that's not going to last. I mean, the second I have an opportunity to get divorced, I'm doing it.
So, you know, sometimes the course of time, we might change our positions about our relationships. I know that that opinions can change. Do you think yours might change?
No, no, she lied about everything. Everything. She was hitting herself. We called the police, or at least I think she was. I was just trying to keep her from attacking me. She made up a bunch of stuff. The police bought it, and now I'm here. So,
Okay. So when you think about the course of your relationship, how long do you think that you guys have struggled in your interaction together?
the first 6, maybe 7 weeks were good. After that, it was just constant fighting, constant arguing. She's just impossible to live with.
Okay. So tell me about other people who are in your family.
Well, I live with my parents right now, so they're a big part of my life.
Well, tell me about your relationship with them.
Oh, it's good. Very warm, very caring, lots of hugs. They are disappointed that I've been arrested the 2 times that I've been arrested. This last time I got arrested, they put me on a behavior contract, and there's a couple rules I have to follow, and if I don't follow them, they usually kick me out. But I tell my parents everything. They'll advise and counsel, try and give me some advice on what I should do different so I wouldn't get in trouble. But yeah,
Are they aware of your relationship with your wife?
oh yeah, absolutely.
And what do they tell you about that relationship?
They've always been critical of the relationship, but not in a way that was like, they would tell me that I was, making a big mistake or something. They just give me advice on how it could be better, or ways I could behave that would be more successful, but never yelling at me or berate me or anything like that.
When they do have disagreements with you, how do they typically handle it?
Usually, kid gloves. They're not trying to be real aggressive with the corrections that they see I can make. They're supportive when we were doing good, which wasn't very often, and disapproving when they thought that I was out of line.
When you do violate that behavior contract, what do they do?
They kick me out of the house. Usually, it depends on. Most of the time, they kick me out of the house.
Okay. So they don't tolerate violations of that agreed.
Oh
behavior.
no, it's definitely it's in place, and yeah, I've got to follow it or there's consequences.
And what do they think about you being involved with in the system now and your conviction?
I think it embarrasses them more than anything. Their friends ask them about it, I'm sure, and they have to say, hey, went to jail or something like that. So yeah, they disapprove of the behavior and me getting arrested.
Okay. Who else is in your family?
I've got a sister. I see my sister probably 2 or 3 times a week. Very warm, very caring relationship. Lots of hugs. She's got her own life. She's got a full-time job and married, kids. Yeah, she's pretty busy, but she makes time for the family, and she and I hang out when we can. 2 or 3 times a week.
2 or 3 times a week. And
Yeah.
what do you guys do together those 2 or 3 times a week?
So we'll have like a card game at the house or something like that. Play some Uno, play some spades, something like that, and just have a great time. She come over and have meals at the house, stuff like that.
Okay. And does she know about your relationship and your involvement in the criminal justice system?
Yeah, I share everything with my sister. She knows it all, and when I get in trouble, same as my parents, she's pretty disappointed in me, disapproves of whatever she thinks I've done, and she'll try to counsel and advise as well.
Okay.
So
Who else is in your family system?
I've got 2 uncles that I'm pretty close with as well. Same with them. Well, no, not exactly the same. They're both retired and have families of their own, and real supportive of me when I'm doing well, and want me to be successful in the future. When I get arrested, they distance themselves from me, and that's pretty upsetting. But once I start turning things around, then they start interacting with me a little bit more. And I talk to them about once a week, twice a week, something like that. Talk to them on the phone, text, see them over at my parents' house. Like that.
So of the people that are in your family, um, there are your two uncles, your mom and dad, your sister, and your spouse.
Yep.
Are there other people involved in your family?
Those are the only people that I really interact with.
Okay. And when you think about your family, tell me about anybody who's been convicted of any criminal offenses.
Well, my mom and dad have it. My sister has it. My two uncles have it. My wife definitely has. She got arrested a couple days after I did for some what I think was some drug stuff. And she's on probation now too. I mean, I can't have contact with her, so I don't know what's going on. I don't want to have contact with her. She's the last person I want to see. But I have that no contact, and you and whoever her PO is set up a, we can't come in the office at the same time together. But she's on probation now.
Okay. Now let's talk about how you spend your time.
Yeah.
What do you do for fun?
Frisbee golf.
You're a Frisbee golfer.
Oh yeah.
Well, tell me more about that.
Oh, I play every Saturday. Got 5 really good friends that I play with, and we'll go out to the Frisbee golf course and just have a great time. Go to the Buffalo Wild Wings afterwards and have some spicy wings, and we'll talk about the game, give each other a hard time, and about once a month we'll organize a tournament, have people come around from the area. I think the furthest people come is maybe 50, 60 miles, something like that. But there'll be a fair number of people there.
Sometimes activities that we engage in involve the use of alcohol or other drugs. I wonder how much that's involved in what you're doing.
Not at all. Nothing.
Alcohol or any other drugs aren't involved in your Frisbee golf tournaments.
No, totally. We got to play Frisbee golf. So no drugs, no alcohol. Afterwards, if we go to the Buffalo Wild Wings, then we just talk about Frisbee golf when we're there. We don't drink while we're there. Nothing like that. Nobody's doing drugs while they're playing Frisbee golf.
How do you know these people that you play Frisbee golf with?
From high school. A couple of them from the Buffalo Wild Wings. And I think that's, high school and former employment.
Okay, we'll talk about them a little bit more as we move forward.
Yep.
Tell me about how else you like to spend your time.
Cocaine.
I'm not sure what you mean.
I like to do cocaine.
Like that's how you spend your time?
That's what I do for fun.
Okay, tell me about the people that you use cocaine with.
So I've got 5 other friends that I met in prison, and we like to party.
How often do you see these guys?
Maybe once a week, twice a week, something like that.
And are any of them involved in the criminal justice system?
Oh yeah, all 5.
Currently involved?
Oh yeah, they're on either probation or I think one of them's on probation for burglary or something like that. But they're all on some sort of supervision.
So when you're not playing Frisbee golf and hanging out with that group of 5, you're using cocaine and partying with your friends.
Oh yeah.
That you know from prison and who are currently on supervision of some type or other. Well, let's talk a little bit more about these 5 friends that you play Frisbee golf with. And you know them from either working with them at Buffalo Wild Wings or from high school.
Yep.
Tell me about when you guys get together, what you guys talk about.
Where they're at, stage of life, things like that. They ask me how I'm doing, and I share with them where I'm at and what's going on with me. I don't hide anything from them at all.
What do they think about your involvement in the criminal justice system?
Oh, they give me a hard time. Same like with my family. They tell me, what I should do different so I wouldn't get in trouble, changes I could make, counsel and advise. But they're all aware, and when I'm doing well, they're supportive and kind of cheer me on and want me to do well and want the best for me.
Do any of them participate in the cocaine with you?
Oh no, absolutely not. Not those 5.
Okay. And how do they spend their time when they're not hanging out with you?
They all have jobs. They all have families. Just do normal people stuff.
Okay. So none of them have any involvement in the criminal justice system?
None. Zero.
So talk to me more about this other group of 5 people that you use cocaine with.
Okay.
You know them from prison, and they're currently on supervision. When you guys get together, what do you guys talk about?
I guess kind of some of the same stuff, but I mean, we're kind of hanging out to party.
Mm-hmm.
So we help each other out where we can. If someone's got some cocaine, we'll share.
Mm-hmm.
But just kind of some of the same stuff. But you know, obviously, two different groups of people.
Right. Now, do you ever tell them about what's gotten you into trouble in the past?
Oh yeah, we met each other in prison.
What do they think about it?
I mean, they don't care. I don't care. I don't judge them on what they do. I mean, I think one of my buddies is on probation for burglary, and I mean, there's the criminal justice system is a business, and without people in the criminal justice system doesn't exist. So I care less whether he's on probation for burglary.
Okay. So you really don't care that they're involved in crime, and they don't care that you are.
No, I mean, if you go into someone's house and you take their piano and they don't have a piano anymore, well, my buddy's got one now, and they're just going to call the insurance company and get the piano back again. So my buddy's got a used piano, or yeah, he's got a used piano, and the people who got it stolen from him are going to get a new piano. That's a win-win. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't see why people get all bent out of shape about something like that. Criminal justice system is a business.
We'll come back to that. We'll touch on that again in a little bit.
Okay.
Tell me about, other than these 10 friends that you have, tell me about other people that you know.
Oh, I've got about, I would say, 50 people that I would call associates.
And of them, how many of them are involved in the criminal justice system?
I would say half, 25 that I know for sure.
How do you know that? Where do you know them from?
High school, a couple of them from work, the gym, just around town.
And of the half that aren't involved in the criminal justice system, how do you know them?
Same places. Just met them around town through employment or just places that I see them at. Like meet people at the gym.
Okay. Tell me about your history with alcohol.
I don't have any history. Well, I think I've drank 3 times in my life. I've never had an MIP, never had a DUI. I was over 21 the first time I drank. I think I was 26. Like I said, never been drunk at all. It's just not my thing.
And we talked about cocaine earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about drugs other than cocaine.
Okay.
Tell me about your use of other drugs.
I don't use other drugs.
Just cocaine.
Just cocaine.
And tell me about when you first used it.
I was about 32, 33 years old. I think that's the first time. It's been a while, but.
And at your most, how frequently were you using?
Every day, sometimes 2-3 times a day.
Tell me what role cocaine played in your conviction or in the crime for which you've been convicted, the assault for.
We were both high at the time. She was my dealer. So
your wife was your dealer.
Yeah, one of them, the main one. I mean, we lived together. So at the time I got arrested for actually both of them, the first one and the second one, assault for C felony. We were both under the influence at the time of cocaine.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So 6 months ago, you were high. You were under the influence of cocaine, and committed that crime.
Oh yeah.
And you did it with your spouse. Were you living with your spouse at the time?
Yeah, we're married.
How did your mom and dad handle that?
Oh, they were mad, frustrated, disappointed, all of those things that parents get when something bad happens like that. Mm-hmm. So they definitely expressed that they were upset about that, and it caused issues with our relationship for sure. I mean, they kicked me out. They started the behavior contract, all that stuff. So.
Okay. Now, how do you think your cocaine use has affected your ability to find work?
Well, I'm using a lot. So I can't go to school. I can't look for work. Yeah, I spend way too much time doing cocaine to do any of that garbage.
Right. When's the last time, or have you ever had a physical from a doctor?
Oh, every year. Had one about 8 months ago or so.
And what does your doctor tell you about the impacts of your cocaine use?
Well, I'm honest with them about my use. So they give me a couple questionnaires and a test or two. But he's like, yeah, you shouldn't do that. But as far as health goes, you're fine.
So no medical issues regarding
No,
your use.
no.
Now, you said earlier that your buddy has been convicted of a burglary, and
Yeah.
the people that you have a group of people, 5 people that you know who are currently on supervision.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of the fact that they've committed those crimes?
I could care less. And if they want to go commit crime, that's fine for them. That's a good thing. If they get a piano out of the deal, good for them. It's just used. That's the only problem. But that person who had it stolen, they're getting a new one. They're going to call the insurance company. The insurance company say, hey, here's a new piano. It's totally fine.
And
There's no victim in that.
well, the person who had their house broken into, how do you think they might feel?
Well, they should walk in and notice their piano's gone and say, thank you. Whoever broke in and took the piano, I'm going to get a new one now. They should be thanking them.
There's a lot of utility in stealing from people.
Yeah, it's a
Everyone's a winner.
win-win. It's a win-win.
So what do you think of your sentence?
Complete BS. Complete BS. My attorney was a complete dump truck. The police lied about everything. My wife made a bunch of stuff up about it. I was trying to protect myself. There was nothing that happened in that police report about what they said I did as far as the assault goes that actually happened. Complete garbage.
So you're on supervision now. You're convicted by a judge or a jury.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, I took it to trial.
To a jury trial?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're on supervision. You have a whole list of obligations now. Conditions of supervision.
Sure.
The judge has said, hey, you need to do a domestic violence intervention program.
Yeah.
Do substance abuse treatment, correct, or at least follow the recommendation of the treatment provider. I wonder, what's your plan?
I'm not doing that. There's no way. Absolutely not. I don't have a problem. None of that stuff happened. None of it happened. And if I thought I had a problem, I'd go address it, believe me. And the last person I need to tell me to go do something like that is you.
So the judge has given you a list of conditions.
That's fine.
And
it's a piece of paper.
One of my roles is to make sure that those conditions are satisfied.
Okay.
So what's your plan about satisfying those conditions of supervision?
Well, you're going to tell me to go do those things?
As your probation officer, I may very well make some directions and have you do them, yes.
Good luck. I don't need to go do any of that stuff. I don't need to do domestic violence treatment. If I wanted to go do drug treatment, I would have gone and done that already. I don't have a problem. It's recreation.
Would it be fair to say that the only problem that you have is that you're on probation?
Yeah, you're my only problem currently as of like right now.
Okay. Have you ever undergone a forensic psychiatric evaluation?
Nope. Never.
How are things financially for you?
Well, I got $5 in my pocket, I think. I don't have any savings. Parents pay my cell phone bill. That's where all my food comes from. That's where I live. So I would say I'm not doing good financially right now.
In the last year, how often have you moved?
4 times. I live with my parents, live with a couple of my buddies, live with my sister for a little bit too.
And when you were on the inside, either in jail or prison, were you ever convicted or charged with escape or being at large?
Like escape from prison?
Sure.
No. I never escaped from prison, never escaped from jail. I just did my time.
All right. Well, that pretty well satisfies the LSCMI. I'm going to enter some things into the computer. The next time that we meet, we'll go over it and we'll have a conversation about where we go from here.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Thank you, Joel.
All right, see you later.